Hello, hello. Um, Usually what sets off me making one of these videos is running into something, either online or in person, and it will just like kind of stick in my head and get me thinking about stuff. Um, in this case, it was a little video that showed up in my feed, pretty uncharacteristic of things that show up in my feed. Um, it's not a very special video. I feel like I've been seeing this sort of content on the internet for at least 10 years. It's very predictable, it's not very interesting, but I do want to talk about it because there are, I think, interesting social dynamics at play behind it that not everybody might be aware of. So I'm just going to show it. Before I open this, I want to make some things clear. We're operating with nature documentary rules, meaning that we are observing and we are learning. We're not going to go bother these people. When you watch a lion kill a gazelle in a nature documentary, you don't fly to the savannah to go tell that lion what you think. Don't do that. Don't do that. That being said, don't bother this person. We're not talking about these particular individuals. This is not a special video. Okay, I just want to use it as an example to talk about something broader. Okay.
So are you gay or straight?
I'm straight.
So as a straight man, would you date a trans girl?
No, I would not.
You think that dating a trans girl would be gay?
Absolutely.
That'd be
Are
gay.
you gay or straight?
Straight.
So as a straight man, would you date a trans girl?
I would not.
So do you think that it would be like gay for a straight guy to date a trans girl? I feel like there's no wrong answer.
It's the wrong answer.
Is it gay? I don't know.
Okay,
That's
it's
a
so
little
hard.
tough.
It
Who
just depends
knows?
on if they have the
Nobody
surgery
knows.
or what.
I don't
Surgery,
know, it's like,
surgery?
I feel like it could go either way. I feel like you can have an argument for both.
Are you
Nobody
gay or
knows.
straight?
Nobody
As a
knows.
straight man, would you date a trans girl?
Personally, no.
So do you think that it's gay?
Okay. Okay, so the first thing I thought of, honestly, when I saw this was this meme. I something about me, I find it really funny when straight men are like debating what's gay or not. It's really funny. It's also like very much a performance. Like this is very much a play because these men are lying. These men are lying. They're lying to each other. Some of them are lying to themselves. I love the idea that we're asking straight men what's gay as if they have any fucking idea. As if they have any idea what that is. Like, if any group has shown that they have no idea what it means to be gay, it is straight people. Like, it is straight people, and there is really this thing that patriarchy loves to do, of kind of just like getting everybody to play along with a fiction that we all know is not real. And often I feel like the point of this is to like basically coddle straight men, cishet men, and make them think that they live in a fantasy world as opposed to like the real world. Like my perfect example of this is like women shaving their legs and underarms, to the extent that like when men see a woman with hairy legs or hairy underarms, it's like that's just what an adult looks like, honey. That's what an adult woman looks like, honey. Adult women grow hair on their legs, so a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them do, and a lot of them grow hair on their underarms. That's an adult woman's body, babe. And we all pretend like it's just not. We all pretend like that's just not the case. Like, no, like women don't have underarm hair. And when they do, it's treated like a political statement. Like the norm, the political norm is basically like creating a little fan fiction bubble for cishet men to pretend that is reality. And then like this is one of those things. And this is, I think, a good example of how they do that for themselves and to each other as well. I do want to talk about there are power dynamics behind this. These men are answering this question with what is effectively a social gun to their head. Because the only guy who's going to say yes to this question is a guy who is already not afraid of being called the F word. You know, some guy who is already in community with women or in community with queer people such that he is already being looped in with them when it comes to these kind of dude bros, right? And so, like, every guy will say no to this question to perform for other men that they are masculine, that they are not interested in penis, because would that be gay? Nobody knows. Would it be gay? Who knows? Like, there's no way to possibly know this. We only have to ask a bunch of straight men who are like, who can't really investigate this question earnestly, because if they answer wrong, they are excluded from their social circles for being gay now. Right? Like, this is not, they're not answering these questions earnestly. That second guy, he was not thinking about this earnestly. He was not really trying to work out. He was not running calculations in his head about if it's actually gay. He was running calculations in his head about if his homies would roast him for saying it wasn't, right? If they would call him gay for saying that it wasn't gay. Because here's just the reality, and this is not like a debate. Like, straight guys like to pretend this is a debate because it clashes with their performance, but this is not a debate. It's not gay to be into trans women. They're women. Like, trans women are women. This is not like a opinion thing like people like to pretend it is. It is just a reality of social dynamics. Cis men understand this deep down, right? They know this deep down, right? Like, I think that the numbers on trans porn viewing, for example, is a perfect example of how they know. Because look, it's not comparable to gay porn numbers. It's comparable to like a lot of women categories. You know, like it is not gay men and straight women that are into trans women. It is straight men and lesbians. And obviously all the bi-pan spectrum folks who are actually the best of them all. Shouts out to my boyfriend. Because when I used to date men, even before I thought I passed very well, I would have to tell them that I was trans, and they didn't know. And part of this is just cishet obliviousness, that cishet people don't think about trans people, they don't think about gender, they don't think about sexuality, they just are horny. And so I tell them, and they don't, and I never, ever, not even once, had a man change his mind about being into me because he found out I was trans. Never. It's never happened. Not even a single time. I have had men get weird and start being like, "Oh, I've never done it before." Like, "Oh, I don't know, but like, you're really hot though." But like, never have they like blocked me or said, "Oh, never mind, carry on," or like anything like that. The challenge dating as a trans woman is never getting attention from straight men. It's finding quality partners that you can actually have a realistic, healthy relationship with. Like, that is the challenge in dating as a trans woman, because the number of guys who want to fuck you is unreal. And this is like, just because guys are fucking horny. And also, kind of, in this video, there is a dance being played where the guys are afraid to say that it's not gay to be into trans women. They're afraid to say they're into trans women because they might have their manhood revoked by their boys, right? And so, but here's the thing though. If you're not a real man for just being attracted to a trans woman, in what world is a full trans woman a real man? In what world am I a real man? Because let me tell you, as any trans woman can tell you, when we're growing up, we are constantly told that we are a fucking girl and that we're not a real man, and we're a fucking girl and we're not a real man. We're a girl, we're not a real man. And then we transition and say, okay, I'm a woman now. Like, address me as such. And they're like, no, you'll always be a man. And it's just not true. Like, it's just not true. It's fan fiction. Um, you know, like they don't see us as real. They don't see us as men. I don't get treated like a man by men. I get treated like a fucking woman. I get like I experience way more misogyny than I do transphobia. I experience way more misogyny than I do homophobia. Like, transphobia is a completely inorganic, performative, political, like economically boosted thing. Like, it's not real, right? Like, people are definitely transphobic, but more so as like actual transphobia is more of a kind of outgrowth of misogyny and homophobia, of just like femininity is bad, and you should do what you're told. And since trans people don't do either of those, don't care about either of those things, at least trans women, people are expected to fit into gender norms, and when you don't, people get mad. Like, you know, and this is why they try to say that, like, oh, if you buy your clothes from the wrong section of the Gap, then you're a groomer, you're a sexual predator. And it's nonsense. That's complete nonsense. And so is this, like pretending as if straight men are not into trans women is fan fiction. It's nonsense. It's not real. Straight men are the most into trans women out of any other group besides potentially trans women. Um, Trans women do like to date each other, but I think a huge part of that is that people connect with people who they understand, and who understand them. And, you know, people like to feel understood in relationships, and that's why often queer people will come to each other. This is why, like, I, you know, found it unlikely that I would ever end up with a straight man. And I'm not with a straight man, with a pan man. Highly recommend it, by the way. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about this. That's all.